Greetings, fellow film fans. Thanks for tuning in. My name is Percy, and this is the Funny Pajamas YouTube channel. Now, this weekend I got a chance to check out Chaos Walking. Now, this is a movie that's been on the burner for quite some time. I think since 2007. Disclaimer straight out, and if you hear birds like crows cawing away, I gotta apologize. It's early morning, and those buggers are really active at around this time in the morning. So please forgive me for that. Okay. So anyway, I got a chance to check out Chaos Walking. Now, Chaos Walking is directed by Doug Liman. He's credited with I believe Born Identity, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and Edge of Tomorrow, based on an amazing manga, by the way, called All You Need Is Kill. Go check it out. Now this movie was originally shot in 2017, and I gotta say it was it got stuck, and they did massive reshoots in 2019, and finally it's out in theaters in 2021. That being said, there's a whole lot of drama and stuff behind the scenes, and I was skeptical going into this movie. This movie basically revolves around Todd Hewitts, and he's played by Tom Holland. And Tom Holland's character is on this planet where Daisy Ridley's character crash lands on her spaceship. Now, the thing about this planet, which is not Earth but looks extremely like Earth, this planet is such that once you enter the atmosphere, the men in the planet all have this thing called noise. It sort of projects their thoughts and whatever they're thinking and what they want to say, their hidden, stuff. It projects that in the form of a wispy cloud sort of thing around their head. So everyone can hear your innermost thoughts, your desires, your wants, what you're thinking, what you're saying, but you're not, what you're thinking, but what you're not really saying out loud. So they're like, all men are like an open book, except for a rare few who seem to be able to control it. Now, this noise also seems to be, you can manipulate it to create illusions of such. They seem to be using this a lot. Now, this on its own is a fascinating concept. This is based on a trilogy of books, and I really thought it has lots of potential for something really good. And that's what I'll say about this movie. This had amazing potential, but the movie is a total letdown. I knew, I had heard about, the stuff going on behind it, how it was massively reshot and they had to, during post-production and stuff. And I was like, it can't be that bad. It's got Tom Holland, Daisy Ridley, it's got the great Mads Mikkelsen, and it's bound to be good, at least be good. But this movie was pretty bad. It was really badly structured. The script was terrible. Tom Holland does most of the heavy lifting, though, what my biggest letdown was Daisy Ridley's character. Now, Daisy Ridley plays the girl who comes from space, and she lands where, there are no women, and all the men, like I said, you can hear their thoughts. And she enters this town where, and she's brought to this town by, Tom Holland's character, and she finds something is wrong. Eventually, the men start hunting her, and she and Tom Holland are on the run. They need to get to some place so she can send a signal of some such. Now, it was the motivation between the villain, played by Mads Mikkelsen. Mads Mikkelsen plays Mayor Prentice. He's the mayor of the town which is filled with only men. And I felt his motivation was pretty weird. I mean, the motivation they gave him was pretty weird. He wants to what? She's capable of signaling a ship. He wants her to signal a ship so that he can find a way off the planet. But then what? How is he going to take over the ship? The ship's got like 4,000 people in it, and he's got maybe 20, 30 people all at gunpoint. So I'll tell you, the motivation did not feel good to me. The characters were not fleshed out. It seemed like they were really trying to cram in a whole lot of stuff in. This movie, from what I gather, is based on a trilogy of books, and you can see that they wanted to set each book, probably make a trilogy of movies and maybe, or a series or whatever. But you can see that when they went into the editing room with what the matter they had, they probably guessed that, no, this is not going to do well, this is not good. And then they just tried to cram the whole thing in through post-production reshoots as such. and it can be seen. And if the massive reshoots have resulted in this quality, they are supposed to have improved what they were originally given. And this is, if this is an improvement, you can imagine how bad the original, cut must have been. And that's pretty surprising, considering, Doug Liman's track. I mean, Edge of Tomorrow, say what you, it may not have done well. It was marketed totally wrong, but the movie ended up being pretty good and pretty solid. And Mrs. Smith and the Bourne Identity films. So I was hoping a lot. I will say massive, massive disappointment. Though I will say the humor at some parts are good. This really picks up pace in the last 20 minutes. And they seem to cram so much into the last 20 minutes that you're like, okay, it was very hard to relate to any of the characters, since there was no, despite the fact that their thoughts and emotions were all of the men were on display, you basically got to know none of them or understand any of them. And like I said, Daisy Ridley doesn't talk for a good half of the movie, and that did not serve her character in the movie well. And she's pretty stoic in the movie. She doesn't have much. You can see she's trying to do her best with what she's been given, but she's not able to. Like I said, there are a few laughs and giggles here and there. The humorous moments, particularly between Daisy Ridley and Tom Holland, are pretty good, and I did like those. But on the whole, this movie, I didn't go with very high expectations. But despite that, I was given much worse than what I really expected. And my expectations weren't even that high. I gotta say, I cannot recommend watching this movie in theaters. This movie, probably watch it when it hits streaming or something like that. I give this movie a 4 out of 10. Not something I would recommend you go out and check unless it's on streaming. That's all I have for you right now, you guys. So be sure to let me down in the comment section down below. Have you seen this movie? Have you by any chance read the books that's the source material? If you have, and if you've done both, I'd love to hear what you think is the book, an improvement over the movie, or the movie an improvement over the book. I don't know, waiting to hear from you. Listen, while you're here, why don't you smash that like and subscribe button, become a subscriber to my channel if you haven't done so already. Don't forget to hit that bell icon so that you're notified every time I post something new. And of course, don't forget, you can always, connect with me on Twitter, simply at Mercy_D, on Instagram at Mercy_SD, or the Funny Pajamas Facebook page is always open, simply at funny.pajamas. And don't forget to check out the website, simply on www.funny-pajamas.com. Got some great content there. Be sure to check it out. And don't forget to hit me down a line in the comment section down below. And if you want to contact me by email, I'm available simply on mercy@funny-pajamas.com. Everywhere, pajamas with a Y. That's all I have for you right now. Keep talking movies and entertainment. Let me know what you think. Have a good one.